everyone. Today's topic is about you having nothing, absolutely nothing to prove to anyone, to prove that you're worthy, to prove that you are okay, to prove that you should be loved. Nothing. My name is Lynn Schrader, and I empower men and women to step outside of their comfort zone and begin living a life and having relationships and having a business greater than they could have ever imagined. You have nothing to prove. Here's where this video is coming from. Just recently, I was really trying to have some quality quiet time in the morning because I had some decisions to make and I needed some clarity. And the words that came to my heart several times was the phrase, "You have nothing to prove." You have nothing to prove. And when I was able to sit back and really take that in, my load was absolutely lightened, and I was able to make decisions and do some things without the need to prove my worth, to prove anything to anyone, and it was wonderful. So when we can act out of a place where we are not proving ourselves to anyone, we will feel peace, we will feel a freedom, we will feel this acceptance, we will feel a joy greater than we ever have. We will feel like we're in alignment with our purpose. We will feel more at rest and not striving. We will feel more carefree. We will be able to soak up the beauty around us and feel things. We will be able to speak up with purpose, and we won't be so exhausted because we're not worried about proving ourselves to anyone. Here's a truth. We will always have someone in our world. There will always be someone who is better than us at something. They're going to be smarter than us, prettier than us, more popular than us, wealthier than us. They're going to be better athletes, better public speakers, better business owners, better writers, better bloggers, you name it. There will always be someone who's better than you at something. So when you can take that on, you can know that it's a losing battle. So here's what happens when we compare. It's doomed from the beginning. When we start to compare ourselves, you might as well just know that it's doomed from the beginning, because here's what happens. We compare our worst, whatever, to somebody else's best. We compare our worst behavior, our worst look, our worst attitude to somebody else's best behavior, attitude, look, whatever. We just do it. So it's doomed from the beginning. And we start to experience this soul starvation, if you will, this need to measure up, this need to be validated, this need to be proving ourselves, the need to perform. And again, when we do that, it's exhausting. Your standards, your guidelines, my standards, my guidelines for my life, for your life, are the only guidelines that matter. They're the only guidelines that matter, not anyone else's. You are not a carbon copy of anyone else. So there's nothing to be gained from needing praise, to feel acceptance, to feel like we need to perform. There's nothing that you gain from that. To impress somebody, to prove, nothing. So you can get off, you can decide to get off the hamster wheel. You can decide to stop being a chameleon and fit in with everything and start focusing on living authentically, who you were born as a little child. Live authentically. Here's some truths about the world. People will always judge us. Maybe a little bit, maybe a lot, but they're always going to judge us. And not everybody, by the way, but some people will always judge. When they do, it's their problem. There's something going on in their heart that makes them blind to their faults and extra alert to other people's. It's their problem. Secondly, people really don't care as much as we think they do. And I'm not talking about a husband, wife, mom to child, mom to sisters, brothers. I'm talking about people in general. People really don't care as much as we think. They don't really care about the clothes that you wear. If they did, it was a fleeting thought. What you drive, what kind of house you have, how much you earn. People don't care as much. Here's a proof in point. Who did you think the most about today? You've thought the most about yourself, what you were going to wear, what were you going to have for breakfast or lunch, where you're going to drive, this or that. You think more about yourself. It's just human nature. Number 3, here's another truth. You will never please everyone. It's impossible to please everyone. There's only one person who has the power to decide your worth, and that is you. You're the only person that has the power to decide your worth. So when you have nothing to prove, you let things slide. When you walk around just in alignment with who you're supposed to be, then you let things slide off you like Teflon. This Teflon pan is going to slide right off you because you're so sure about yourself. When you have nothing to prove, you don't let words really affect you. Maybe they might sting for a little bit, but typically no, because you're so sure of who you are. Again, you have nothing to prove. When you have nothing to prove, you keep your head down and your eyes in your own lane, knowing that you have a purpose that's completely different than anybody else. You keep your head down. When you have nothing to prove, you don't work for a title. You find satisfaction in the input that you do and not so much on the outcome. When you have nothing to prove, you're more concerned about that. When you have nothing to prove, you know that you only have one life to live. So you're going to decide to live it to the fullest and bring value to people in your world because you don't have anything to prove to anyone else. When you have nothing to prove, you know that you won't be everyone's cup of tea. You're going to be somebody's sandpaper person. It happens. So what you do is you cultivate the friendships around you and you find a tribe that gets your vibe. That happens when you are so sure and you have nothing to prove. So you do not have to be liked or understood. The right people in your life will understand you. You are the driver of the car. You're not the backseat driver anymore. You're the driver of the car. You have nothing to prove. So here's the deal. Be your best friend. Be your biggest cheerleader. You have nothing to prove to anyone. And here's a little activity you can do. I want you to close your eyes and picture you as a little girl or a little boy. Picture you. Maybe you were a preteen, maybe you were smaller than that, but young. Picture you as your younger self, truly. When was the last time that you thought, when you picture yourself, I'm imagining that you're picturing maybe a carefree person, someone that was very curious. Maybe you were daring. Maybe you were the life of the party. Maybe you were inquisitive. Maybe you were, you spoke your mind. Maybe you were just carefree and didn't have all the worries. So now you picture yourself, you think of that little girl, that little boy. Now I have a question for you. When was the last time that you thought of yourself the way you did then? With admiration, with kindness, with sweetness, with love, with acceptance, with high regard. When's the last time you thought of yourself that way as an adult? You have nothing to prove. You have nothing to prove. You are just the way you're supposed to be. Gosh, I hope you got some value out of this because I'm so passionate about this. If you're like, where is this coming from? Why do I not feel this way? Then I would also ask yourself to go back to your past and pick out the times when you didn't feel that way and look at them as a lie because you're not that way. Listen, I have a question. Has your desire to prove yourself affected or interfered with your life at all? I'd love for you to comment. How did you cope with it? We'd love your insight. I'd love your insight. If you got some value out of this video, then leave a comment below. I'd like to hear that too. Now listen, I'm going to drop my website in the comments below. I welcome you to check out my website and to check out all the free content that's on there. I also ask that you hop onto my YouTube channel and you hit the subscribe button. Even more free content on there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you.